Hi, I'm Jenna, and this is episode 100! I feel like I should have like confetti cannons and balloons, but I don't. But it's so crazy to me. Episode 100. Triple digits. Triple digits. Crazy. So, I'm so excited. I don't know, I guess when you kind of start doing this, you don't know how it's going to go or where it's going to go or how long you'll be doing it. I had hoped it would go well and I'd be doing it for this long. It's been almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in, about 5 weeks or so. So then it'll be a podiversary, but 100! So excited. So, okay, I guess enough with the excitement. On with the show. Real quick, rundown of knit-alongs. We are doing our Frances the Sock-Wearing Fox knit-along. It is still going on through the end of the month. Little foxy. I could play with her all day. And we are doing the Sprig Sweater by Alana Dacos, which is January and February. So if you still haven't started it, there is still plenty of time. It's so exciting to see people that are swatching and have it started, and, really excited because it's my first sweater knit along. I'm going to do things a little out of order today. Not too much, don't freak out. But I normally do Yarny goodness after I show everything I've worked on, but I'm going to show it first this week because it kind of leads into my finished objects. So I went to the LYS on Saturday. I went and had lunch with my bestie, and on my way home I'm like, oh well, the shop's still open for a few hours, so I'll just stop in there and hang out. And so the shop owner was like, well, I have a proposition for you. And we got talking about having some samples of my patterns in the shop, which I'm super excited about. And so we ended up working it out where I offered that, if she wanted to provide yarn support, I would be more than happy to knit the samples because I know she is a super busy woman. And that's what we did. So the yarn support I was given, she at first was like, well, pick out whatever you want to use. And I'm like, oh no, you pick out what you want me to use. I mean, as long as the colors are going to work, I will knit with whatever she wanted to. Unless she would have given me something with like mohair or something. But for toys, you don't use mohair. Normally. So I was given 4 skeins of yarn. And it's all LRA Superwash, which works great for toys. As you will see, one of the skeins is a bit flat, the red, because I've used most of it. I think I only have 17.5 grams left. It is the LRA Superwash Classic, and these are the Heathers. Currently, all of the ones she has are Heathers. I tried to find LRA on the website, and I'm thinking Jimmy Bean's Wool didn't carry it, but Webb's did, and they don't have quite the color selection that Cascade 220 does, but otherwise I feel it knits up a lot like Cascade 220. I think it's super comparable. It's been great to knit with, and I had bought the week before a sweater quantity for my Miranda sweater that I hope to get to soon. And so I'm really looking forward to knitting my sweater out of it because I really, really enjoyed it. I think it has really good structure for a superwash yarn, maybe even a little more structure than Cascade 220 Superwash. Like I said, very comparable. So these are the colors. Now they all have numbers, and I don't have the ball bands. But this is definitely like a brownish tan, light brownish tan. I think when I put it in Ravelry, some had numbers and names, and some just had numbers. But they all definitely had numbers. So this one was actually labeled as oatmeal, which I think describes it perfectly. Then there is a brown, which is a very chocolatey brown. And then there was the red, which it's a gorgeous red. It kind of, I guess, living in a rural area, I would call it like barn red. But on Ravelry it came up as Red Robin, and I think that works out perfect too. And then this is like a teal color, which I love very, very much. So that moves me into my, that's all the Yarny goodness I have. That moves me into my finished objects because I have finished objects. I'm so excited. So excited. So I used all 4 colors to knit a Francis the sock wearing fox for the shop. Because this is the one the owner really wanted. Francis by far is definitely one of my most popular designs. So I thought it worked out really cute. Normally when I knit the muzzle and the end of the tail, I use a cream, but the really light brown kind of tan color, or oatmeal, worked out really nice. It looks definitely like a little country fox is kind of what I think compared to some of my other ones, which are very bright colors. This is definitely a more subtle, and it worked really well. Like I said, it has great structure. It's very soft. Now, when I was reading the ball band for the Ella Rae Superwash, they recommend machine washing it, but not throwing it in the dryer. So that was something I found interesting, because normally you can throw superwash yarn into the washer and into the dryer on low, but on the Ella Rae they said to lay flat to dry, which is usually best, because sometimes even a superwash can pill. So super cute. I'm super excited to be able to take her a little friend. Now, when I was given the yarn for the yarn support, I was told, well, just hold on to the rest and use it for designs or, you know, something to that effect. And I guess in me, some people might be like, ooh, extra yarn, mine. And I can't bring myself to just keep it. So I decided I'm going to try to knit as many samples as I can with the yarn. So I also have knit up for the shop a sample of Susan the Social Crab in the Ella Rae Superwash red. So super cute. Love her. Once again, I use really, really blindingly bright colors sometimes. And this turned out so nice for the crab. It's more of a deeper red, definitely not an in-your-face, and I'm so happy. It looks so good. Like I said, I am very pleased with this yarn. And it's fun trying new things. So those are the 2 I've gotten so far since Saturday when I was in there. I also hope to take like the teal color, and I'm planning on knitting a Nicole the Notorious Octopus, because I thought this would be a good octopus color. I kind of thought at first maybe doing a Sam the Super Frog, but it's a little too blue for my liking for the frog. I don't know why. I'm like, no, octopus. So I think I'm going to get one of those out of it, and I should still have plenty. So I figure I need to get a little bin that I'm only going to put the yarn that she gives me in there, and it'll be used just for the shop. Because I just think that's what's fair. So, I mean, she just seemed really not concerned about the leftovers. But I'm like, you know, these run about $10 a skein, I want to say. Very comparable to the Cascade 220 as well. And I'm just like, she gave me $40 worth of yarn, and I just cannot, I have to, only using like 6 grams of this, I can't keep the rest and just let it sit in my stash and not make something for the shop. I mean, yes, she's getting samples, I'm doing all the work, but I'm hoping, you know, it's also going to benefit me, right? I mean, I get to have samples that I know are true to the pattern because I knit them. And it's like free advertising for me, right? Because the deal is they will have tags with my name and the pattern name on it so that they can find it on Ravelry. And I also do the in-shop program so people can buy the patterns at her yarn store. We both make a little money off of them. So, super excited about that. My other finished object, I'm so excited. I finished it. I had to. I finished my Advent scarf. It's huge. I mean, of course it's huge, right? Like, but it's 8 feet long, which I'm sure that's pretty comparable to last year's. But it just never ceases to amaze me. So I was thinking, I'm like, I was trying to get it done by the end of New Year's. And New Year's Eve, I only got through day 23. And I was like, you know, I could just bind it off. I could just bang this darn thing off and nobody will ever know that it's one section short. But then I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I can't wait to wear it, right? I just finished it yesterday, finished the last day yesterday morning and blocked it immediately after. And I'm like, but if I'm wearing it out and about, and say I wear it to the yarn shop and the ladies spread it out and somebody counts, they'd be like, wait, why is there only 23 instead of 24? And then I'd have to be all like, oops. I couldn't do that. And honestly myself, I would feel like I didn't finish it. I didn't truly finish it. So, it was done almost like, what, 2 weeks late? 13 days, something like that. Oh well. Not a big deal. But it's finished, so I'm kind of gonna scroll it up. Like I said, it's ridiculously long. Long but beautiful, I do have to say. And that's the last day there. So, the pattern is Advent Calendar Scarf 2013 by Kristen Beckinson. Or, I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. Anyways, it's free on Ravelry. The yarn I used is Highland Handmaid's Pin Cherry lace, and it is a 80% superfine merino, 20% silk blend, and the colorway is just right for Jenna, as it was specially dyed for me. Thank you, Heather, because it is gorgeous. Like, I cannot wait. See, I will wear it just like, I will probably wear it like this, because it's so darn long. I just love this color. It's so gorgeous. And as I'm moving it around, it smells so good. Because I soaked it in Soak in the Celebration scent. So it smells lovely, it feels lovely, and I'm just so happy with it. I'm glad I finished it. I'm so glad to have it off the needles. It's kind of like feeling like, you know, getting the monkey off your back. So, I would love to make another one again. I don't know that I would pressure myself into getting it done in 24 days. So I'm like, maybe next time, maybe I'll do like 1 a week or 2 a week or something. I felt just a little frazzled this year, more this year than I did the year before. So glad to have it off the needles. Next up, works in progress. I have been working on my sprig sweater. So this is our knit along sweater, Sprig by Alana Dacos of Never Not Knitting, and also she is the designer behind the Botanical Knits book. Okay, let's see. It'll go this way. This is the front. So it looks a little lopsided, right? Like one side hangs down a little, but you knit the sweater first, or the body of the sweater, and then I guess you go back, and I haven't read the directions yet, so I'm not sure if you knit on, because the sprig has a vine motif that kind of wraps around, and it is wider on one side than the other. That's why the sweater is wider on one side than the other. And I'm assuming you like knit it on, because it is knit sideways compared to how the stitches of the sweater go. But I haven't read that far ahead. So I love the color. The color is Cascade 220, regular 220, and it is in the turtle colorway, and it has a number, and I couldn't tell you the number, but I remember the name. But it looks just like the yarn that she used in the pattern sample. So I have the pattern here. I think there's a page I can show you and not spoil the pattern. So here, see, that is what you go and knit on later. because it seems like really odd, and I tried it on. I'm like, okay, I have made the mistake of not trying sweaters on after they get to a certain point to make sure I should still go on. So, as soon as I got through the bust decreases, I went and I tried it on, and it was fitting perfectly. Yay! I shouldn't need to frog this sweater. And someone asked me how I tried it on, because it is on a needle that is definitely too short for me to slip over my body. So what I did is I took another needle. Actually, since these are interchangeables, I capped the one end I would be knitting onto. I got an extra cord, put a cap on the other end, and then took the needle that I took off of here and put it on. Or you could just use a second needle of the same size. Needs to be the same size. And I knit to the halfway point. So then I had 2 cables, and I had more than enough slack to slip it on over my body. It was quick and simple. It might sound a little more complicating me trying to explain it. So, really excited. I'm so close to finishing the body. I'm actually to the point where I will, I decrease, I had the bust, and then I did the decreases, I guess almost for like the waist shaping. Not necessarily bust decreases, waist shaping and decreases. And now I'm right to the point where I will start increasing again. So the body is really close to being done. And I'm trying to decide. I'm like, well, when the body's done, do I want to go and do the neckline, or do I want to put the sleeves on? And I'm almost kind of like, well, I kind of want to do the neckline because I really want to try it on then to make sure I should go on to the sleeves. So that's my thinking right now. And my super cute Kiki Boo bag with my foxes. I love that bag. My sweater fits in there very nicely. I think it's her large wedge, if I remember correctly. And then, if you watched last week, you might be thinking, oh, she was working on another sweater, that beautiful driftwood. You want to see what happened to my driftwood? Frogged it. Froggity frog. So, I got done with the body, and this is one of the sweaters I did not try on whatsoever. And I made it, well, first off, I was between sizes, and I thought, well, I didn't want it too big, because, or too small, because they're stripes, and stripes hug in bad places and just make you look bigger in the long run. So I went with the bigger size. Well, now I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should have went with the smaller size. And then I gauged with the Cascade 220. It's a silver gray. And I got gauge. Well, what I didn't take in account for is that I was also using Noro Curon, or Curian. I've heard it pronounced a few different ways. Just your basic Noro, which I do believe is considered an Aran weight. And this is kind of a light worsted. So the gauge is not the same. I got gauge on this, which I believe was like 19 stitches in 4 inches. This one, I was only getting 15 or 16 stitches in 4 inches. So needless to say, my gauge was totally thrown off by the Noro. I should have done my gauge swatch with the Noro, not the Cascade, or swatched both. My sweater pretty much ended up 2.5 sizes too big. I was knitting the medium, and like I said, it came out like the size of the 2X or whatever, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit the small and hope it comes out the size of the medium to large because of the Noro throwing my gauge off so much. So I will definitely be trying that one on as I go, and if I have to frog it again, then it was not meant to be a driftwood. And the driftwood is better throw out there who it is. It seems to really be in the hot right now. The driftwood is by Isabel Kramer, and it is just a striped Henley sweater. So super awesome. So it was a work in progress, and it is now a frogged and waiting to be in progress. Because like I said, I will definitely knit it again. Hope for the right size. But I'm trying to concentrate on my sprig right now, and this month I take December off from designing and focus on Christmas knitting. I had a little bit of me knitting with the Advent scarf and my sweater, and I need that. I need that for me. I need just some time to just focus on something that makes me happy, because knitting used to just all be for fun, and then it kind of became about work. And in order not to burn myself out and make all knitting feel like work, I take that time for myself at the end of the year and enjoy knitting just for the sake of knitting. Because if I didn't do it, I would be burnt out and I wouldn't want to do it anymore. I know myself that well to know that I can't do that to myself, to push myself to be a workaholic, pretty much. Because I feel that way anyways. I'm constantly knitting. Any free moment I get, I'm knitting. Everywhere I go, I'm knitting. And a lot of the time, I mean, they are works in progress. They are things you never get to see, because it's kind of like the behind the scenes designer part of me. A lot of it gets frogged, a lot of it gets scrapped, a lot of it gets, like, given to my kids or people I know, because I'm like, it didn't work out the way I wanted, and I didn't feel like ripping it out, because it still was cute, but I am excited because January, while it's not a new pattern coming out, I did release Cory the Curious Fish. I love his little floppy tail, and his little floppy fins, and his little kissy face. Ready? This was a Dancing Dog Dye Works Club pattern 6 months ago. It was released for the club, and the rights have come back to me. So yeah, see, so we can totally celebrate 100 episodes. The release of Cory. So he's available right now on Ravelry for $6. Eventually I will get him added. Oh, he runs away. Ah, the craftsy. Excuse the top of my head. So super excited. I just love him so much. I've gotten lots of PMs about when he would be released, so hopefully all those people that were wondering, because I don't save the PMs or they get lost in my inbox. So, but I am planning a new pattern out for February that I am in cahoots with the other Jenna, Jenna of 716 Knit. So she sent me some amazing yarn in the fall that I have all wound up. It's ready to go, ready to design with. I think I have a pretty good idea of how the pattern is going to go, and hopefully that'll work out. Sometimes, you know, you have an idea and you think it's pretty solid and it just doesn't go there. I also will be needing test knitters for my sock pattern. I want to get that out super soon, so look for a thread in the group. Do not PM me about it. I'm not doing testers that way. You will need to follow the pattern, like, to a T. Like, the only modifications you can make is in the length of the cuff and the foot to fit your liking, but I really need people who are going to follow the pattern to see if it works. I mean, that's what I need more than anything. So no rogue testers, please. There will only be a handful. I will open a thread, and then when I have enough, I will lock it, and that's it. So think. There was something else I wanted to talk about. Oh, and then this summer I also hope to have, I'm like, ooh, that's in the shop. I also hope to have a new shawl pattern out. So I'm kind of got the wheels turning on that. No official designing's been going on. I'm trying to decide what yarn I want to go with, what colors I want to, or color I want to go with. It'll probably be a solid, I was working on like a variegated shawlette kind of thing, and I don't think that's going to work out. But it's still in the back of my mind of something I want to do. So lots of exciting things, not just toys. I really kind of want to expand my horizons. It's not going to be like sweaters or anything like that. it totally blows my mind. Those people who design sweaters, especially multiple sizes, like Alana Dacos, her sweaters are amazingly written and really easy to follow. So I've enjoyed that. So I have a book review. So the lovely people at Cooperative Press, specifically Jocelyn, had contacted me and asked if she could send some books. And I was like, well, sure, because I get to give one away to you. So I love to be able to give you guys stuff, especially free stuff. I was given 4 books. One of which not really my taste, and the other really doesn't fit my podcast because within the knitting there are words that I wouldn't even say on here. So if they're words I'm not going to say, they're definitely words I'm not going to show you as well. So I have picked 2 books that I feel fit with what I do and my audience. And I know you have seen this on Dramatic Knits, but it is one of the 2 books I'm going to review as well. So, on with it. It is Dishcloth Diva Knits On by Deb Buckingham. So there's the cover. In the book, there are 16 different patterns. And it's really cute. Well, okay, wait. There's 15 dishcloth patterns, and I really like the table of contents. You get to see them all, and they're all named, they're all like ladies' names. Like, I kind of think of, I don't want to say old-fashioned, but kind of like retro names like Mildred, Blanche, Hazel, Betty, stuff like that. Names that I absolutely adore. And I really like that in this ebook she really takes on the thought of, don't think of them just as dishcloths. They also are great for like Afghan squares. And one of the projects in the book is a Lapghan project where she talks in the book, because I guess in her first book, I don't have the original Dishcloth Diva book, but in the book she talks about wool, because I guess in the first book she had talked about cotton. And the great thing about wool is that it makes great blankets, it makes great garments, and that the patterns don't just have to be for dishcloths. They can be more versatile than that, and I totally agree. I love sampler blankets. One day I will knit me a sampler blanket. Now I made this one behind me. It was a free pattern from Lion Brand, but they're all the same, just different colors. I knit it with acrylic because that's all I knew at the time. I made this years ago, and it just sits on the back of this chair because it looks so good. The walls are actually celery green. I know they probably look different every week because of the lighting. And the chair is like a teal color, a deep teal, and the blanket has greens and kind of a teal in it, and it just really complements. So it just sits here. This is where it lives. If you've been watching for almost 2 years, it's always been here. So some of the patterns, I really like this one. It's called Lucille Bell. I guess it's a take on Lucille Ball. So it's really fun. You get to use 2 different colors, and it has this fun, I guess it would be a slip stitch is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, a slip stitch. You know, they're really great too if you want to brush up on some techniques. Sometimes samplers, especially dishcloths, are an easy way to test things out. So that is Nellie. I really like that one. I like the way it kind of looks like vines or bark on a tree. I'm not going to show you all of them. I'll show you some of my favorites. I really like Blanche. I love the texture of that, and I think if you were going to use it as a dishcloth, I think it would be really great. I like dishcloths when I make them. I like them to have good texture because then they scrub good, because sometimes you just need it to scrub super, super good. So I really love this, and when, you know, she was talking about using it as a, more like a sampler blanket, I thought, oh, I want to do that stitch so bad. And I love this one. It's called Opal. I just love the names. I really, really do. And then this one was cute. It's called Virginia, and it totally looks like my breakaway cowl. Because, you know, I have to admit, my breakaway cowl, the pattern was nothing totally original. It was adapted from a Stitch dictionary. And, let's see. There's one. And then there's Gladys. So, Gladys is kind of a take on the grandmother's favorite. I think the stitch count is a little different. Otherwise, knit the same way. So, you know, if you really, I think this would be a really great book, especially for somebody who's maybe a new knitter. I think they would be very confident to knit out of this book, because it's a great way to expand techniques and do some patterning. Here's a shot of the lapgan. And I love the way the stitches work together. I love the colors they used together. And I mean, this would even be a great baby blanket. And you know, not everybody thinks of you know, taking a dishcloth book and making blankets. So, like I said, there are 15 patterns. Let's see, how do I get to the front? I'm not used to using my iPad for books. And then the lapgan thing, which isn't hard. It's easy enough to whip stitch squares together. I think it's a really, really great book that, like I said, can be versatile. I do not remember off the top of my head. I will look up real quick how much it retails for. So once again, it is Dishcloth Diva Knits On by Deb Buckingham, and I will pull up really quick the retail price on that in case if you were wondering, because it would even be something really great to gift to somebody on Ravelry. I love that you can gift ebooks. So I can't wait to review the other book next week. So the giveaway for this will be for 1 week. Okay, it's $19.95. So $19.95 for 15 patterns plus the instructions on how to put it together for the lapgan. I mean, that's less than $1 a pattern. So super awesome. It works out to be like, what, 90 cents a pattern? So yeah, and that is from Cooperative Press. So for the entry for the giveaway, how about you just say what your favorite dishcloth pattern out of the book is? I think that it's a fun way to get people to maybe go and look at every single pattern. So that's it for the knitting. I know some of you leave us now, or leave me now. If you're leaving now as we move into a slice of life, I will see you next week. And on we go. So this week was still a little hard. I'm still getting in an adjustment from the holidays, and then it doesn't help. We are on day 3 of snow days. So I record on Wednesdays if you're new or you forgot. So my kids have been home the last 3 days from school. They were supposed to go back on Monday, and then we had lots of snow, and then it got bitterly cold. We got down to, I think the lowest we saw it was -12. They were saying -20. But the lowest we saw our thermometer go was -12. We have, it's like an atomic clock, and it has an indoor sensor, so it'll tell you how warm it is inside, and a sensor you put outside and tells you how cold it is outside. So that got down to -12, and that's without the wind chill. That's actual air temperature. So really cold. Yesterday was definitely the coldest day. When I got up, it was like -8 in the morning, which I know areas got colder, but our pipes started to freeze. So I called my husband at work, and because it got to the point where it's like, okay, the main bathroom, we have 1.5, the main bathroom, the sink quit working. All right, kind of freaking out. I didn't sleep well the night before because I was so worried I was going to wake up hearing like a pipe burst or something. So then my husband got up for work. He's like, this sink doesn't work. The toilet now doesn't flush, but the tub still, he's like, I have the tub trickling. He's like, you know, to keep it going. But the tub's still working. He's like, the half bath is still good. Okay, good. A little while later, it was maybe 9:30, my daughter comes out. She's like, Mom, the toilet in the half bathroom's now not working. What? So I called him from work, and we found out it was because we had some work done on the house, and we had to have some things reworked outside, and the way it was done, there was now an area that was definitely getting way too exposed that was along an outside wall that you couldn't see because of the way it was in the basement. He couldn't see it because he was checking the pipes downstairs. He's like, I don't know why it's not working. They don't feel frozen. Like, they're cold, but they're not any colder than they normally would feel. So he finally found that area and stuck some insulation around there after he warmed it up with a hairdryer and got everything flowing again. It was such relief because I'm like, that's the last thing we need is a pipe to burst. So, you know, we're all just trying to stay warm and stay bundled up, and I swear when I am cold, it makes me hungry. Like, I feel like I need food to help keep me warm. So there was definitely a little bit of extra snacking, but I did lose 1.3, so I'm on my way to losing the stuff that I put on from the holidays, which, I mean, it wasn't a ton, but it's still enough to be, you know, kind of about. And it's hard to want to exercise. I'm like, right now I am freezing, and I just want to go bundle back up in my Snuggie, like I was before I was sitting here in front of you. I have to admit, I have a Snuggie. It is a leopard print Snuggie, and I love it. So, you know, that's kind of just where I am with that. Just trying to stay motivated, trying to go, because I have 20 less pounds, and I really, my goal is to lose it by my birthday. So my birthday is in the beginning of June. That gives me 5 months. And I'm like, okay, 5 months, that's roughly 4 pounds a month. I mean, that should be doable, I hope. But as you lose more weight, it gets harder to lose it. So, just trying to stay motivated, trying to keep it going, hoping this cold weather breaks. It's up to 20 today. I'm like, heat wave. I know, that sounds like totally crazy, right? They're talking like 40 degrees by Saturday. I'm like, oh my god, it's like gonna be really warm. And I'm like, gotta remind myself it's really not, right? 40 is not warm by any measure. So, I think that's it. Not an overly eventful week. I'm just trying to knit my little heart out, get samples done, get my sweater going. It was so heartbreaking to frog the driftwood, but it had 9 inches of positive ease. I'm like, that's not flattering on anybody. It would be like wearing a garbage bag. Could you imagine the sleeves on that thing just being like hanging down, being huge? Oh my goodness, that would be horrible. and I was starting to worry that I would have enough of the Noro. So now I should definitely have enough. So hope it fits. If not, block it out, right? Block that sucker. And I guess that's it for me this week. So I am Jenna, also known as RetroLemon on Ravelry, Plurk, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram. Oh yeah, I'm on Craftsy as well. I always forget that. I actually got a Craftsy sale this week. I'm like, woohoo! Weight Watchers and Fitbit. So until next week, I will see you then. Bye.